No funny cold open today. This sucks. Let's talk about it.
Happy Tuesday and welcome into another edition of the PHNX Sun Devils Show. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by Chicken Little himself, known in other places as Erik Ruby. Of course, we have the freckled mamba behind the Mac making all of the magic happen. We've got Myles, Robert, Julie here in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, and you drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. I mean, in 24 hours, a lot has transpired, both for the Sun Devils and for other teams across the Big 12, of course, with ties to the Arizona State Sun Devils. But, of course, the news of the day is a bad one. It is, unfortunately, the news that Zyrus Fiaseu will be missing the entirety of the 2026 campaign with a lower body injury. Of course, Zyrus missed a good chunk of the 2025 season with an injury. Someone that, I mean, we know has meant a lot to this team, a lot to this program. And there's no other way to put it, man. Like you said in the cold open, this just sucks.
You know, you watch and you cover football, and it's you say it all the time. Well, injuries are an inevitability.
Yeah.
Right? You just know that. There's no way that you could even be a fan of this sport and not understand that injuries are an inevitability. Hell, if you even just watched the Sun Devils only for last season, you would know that injuries can really derail a team. The issue is it doesn't make this type of stuff any easier. And obviously all injuries are tough, but when somebody has been around the program for, a pretty long time, at this point now, one of the longer tenured players on this roster, somebody who was in the room that we would maybe consider one of, if not the best in the entire program, and somebody who's going to play this year.
Yeah.
And somebody who's probably going to play really well. So you blend all of those things together and you get a really, really sad day here about 11 days before the season. Obviously, there are questions about what does ASU do next, but I think first we just got to talk about how much this is just awful for Zyrus.
Yeah.
His last season of college football, and somebody who had to get an injunction, or he
got an extra year of eligibility.
And now, obviously, I don't want to say it goes down the drain because he still gets to be around the team, still gets to be a member of the Sun Devils, and I'm sure that that's fine, but I know that he wants to play.
Yeah, I mean, we had Zyrus in over the summer and spent an hour talking to him. He had his newborn baby here, and he was just so excited for the 2026 season, right? Someone that has just missed so much time from the game because of injury, and it was trending toward him being in a really good position to go into this year, make an impact for this defense, be a veteran on this defense, and now at this point, yeah, it's chalked for him. Unfortunately, the season is done. I can't imagine there would be another year coming back in terms of like a medical red shirt. If you remember, like red shirts, that all that stuff's gone now, right? You got 5 to play 5. So the injury stuff is really, really unfortunate. I do believe that we have seen the last of Zyrus Fiaseu when it comes to playing college football in Tempe. And again, that really sucks. Of course, we're going to talk about what it means for the defense as a whole, but this just sucks for Zyrus, man. Like, this is, again, someone who worked his tail off to get back from the injury in 2025. He eventually got the notice that he was going to be able to play again, made the decision to come back to ASU. And like I said, like you saw when he was in here, he was pumped. He was really, really excited for the 2026 season. I believe this is something that went down on Saturday. There was some stuff circulating of him on crutches, and sure enough, Kenny announced it today that he would be missing the entirety of the 2026 season. So you just feel awful for Zyrus as a player, and now obviously the attention turns to the linebacker room, a unit that we've both been very high on for realistically since spring ball. With all the different players that you had in there, but a big reason why you were so excited is because of the depth.
Right. And I mean, look, before we go more into the linebacker room, just want to give, Zyrus some more flowers. He has and what will always be one of the more memorable plays of my time being an ASU fan.
Yeah.
Kicking off the 2024 season, his first season here, obviously the Big 12 championship season with that pick 6 against Wyoming. Not the most consequential play of all time, obviously, but to literally start that season off when the vibes were, let's say, relatively low around the team and around the program, like people were not expecting them to do well, obviously famously picked to be last in the Big 12, Zyrus really just immediately changed how everybody kind of felt. I remember being there in the stadium when that happened, and we would continue to reference it as the season went on. It's not often that you reference plays from the first game of the season against a really bad team on a season that would eventually go on to be one of the most successful in program history. But he really felt like he kickstarted that. Yeah. It felt like a moment, and he will always have that, and he'll always be remembered by Sun Devil fans for that.
1,000%. I know he wishes he could have gone out differently. And I think everybody does.
Yeah.
But, wishing him a speedy recovery and whatever's next for him in terms of rehab and just getting back to 100%.
And then you got to focus on, okay, well, that sucks. It's awful for him. It also really hurts the team. Now, I think when you look at the linebacker room, obviously you start with Owen Long, right? And you still feel good. You still feel comfortable about Owen Long. What you do like now is the emergence of a guy like Tristan Bacon in fall camp. He was somebody that seemed like he had completely earned playing time in his own right, even with Zyrus continuing to be in the room. But you're going to need some of these younger guys to step up in that room to make up for what you're losing as far as veteran leadership, know-how. That was a lot that what Zyrus brought.
Yeah, 1,000%. He brought so much on the field, obviously, but in the locker room as well, right? Again,
this is a guy that was one of the best players in his conference at San Diego State.
Yeah, it's gut-wrenching. And you talk about the team in general, right? You have Owen Long, I should say, Martell Hughes. You don't have Zyrus there, who was a projected rotational piece amongst that first team and second team defense. So you're right. The emergence of Tristan Bacon now goes from, okay, we had a lot of depth and we can work Tristan Bacon in as the season goes on. He can really be a highlight on special teams, to now Tristan Bacon is a play away from being thrust into the starting lineup if something were to happen with the other two, right? So Tristan Bacon will be playing significant snaps. The only difference now is you are thinner in terms of the top shelf talent that you have at the linebacker position. Prairie Young Black Goat was back at practice today. That was a really good sign to see him out there. He's a 6'3", 235 junior linebacker, so he's somebody that has size to him. I'm just more interested in, okay, can he get acclimated back to the level of competition after, us not seeing him for a little bit of time here. So I still feel good about where the linebackers are at.
You don't feel like a room is going to be one of the best in the program if you don't think that they can handle an injury and have
part of
depth,
that conversation around the linebacker room was the top shelf talent. Again, it sucks that one of those guys that we had in conversation of kind of the trio of best players in that linebacker room is not there right now.
Yeah.
But you still do feel good with what you have at the linebacker spot.
So let's talk about, some of the names that could be stepping in here. Obviously, Tristan Bacon is somebody that we imagine plays.
He's 1-1 on that list.
Right. Obviously, we know Martell Hughes is probably sliding into that starting spot now.
Martell was already starting. They were rotating. So
they're rotating in. Prairie Young Black Goat is somebody that has been around the program for probably the longest out of anybody else that we're talking about here. Ramir Davis, the NAU transfer, who's also an upperclassman. He's somebody that I was pretty excited about. I see him as a kind of a specialty linebacker who's used more as like blitz packaging and stuff like that, but still really good. And then you got some young guys as well. Like,
a lot of young guys.
Do you think that an Oscar Aguilar, a Mason Martin, any of them could end up being the player that steps in here?
My gut tells me no, just because of how much the other guys are going to be playing. I think the thing that when we were talking about this linebacker room as a whole being healthy, there is the conversation of rotation, and it's like, okay, it's understandable that you are going to get Zyrus, Martell, Owen, and then Tristan Bacon will work in.
Yeah.
Right? In this predicament with where you're at now, I don't think that there is necessarily that, just overwhelming confidence in the young guys yet to just thrust them into action. Do I think you'll see them against Morgan State? I think there is a high chance you'll see some of those players, a Mason Martin and Oscar Aguilar, against Morgan State. But realistically, I think Owen Long and Martell Hughes are in a tier of their own. I think Tristan Bacon is in the next tier, and I think he's alone in that tier.
Okay.
Right now. I think everybody else just is playing catch up to those three guys up there.
Have you seen anything from Ramir in camp?
I haven't seen a ton from Ramir in camp, if I'm being honest. I think I remember at the very start of fall camp, late spring ball as well, he was looking good. But in terms of the overall rotation, he's not necessarily in the ones or twos from what I've seen. Again, today it was Prairie Young Black Goat, which this was the first practice since Zyrus has been officially done. So he's not really in the two deep as it stands right now. And I think there's probably a little bit of an uphill climb like the other guys to just get to that point of where they feel confident enough for you to just go out there and contribute heavily on the defensive side of the ball. If I'm being honest, I know there are a couple players at the linebacker position that they do really like, but I think they like them with the idea in the mind of, okay, we've got some time. These are developmental guys, like an Isaiah Iosefa is someone that I know they like as well. But he's a younger player, right? He's a sophomore, 6 foot, 230. I just don't know, because this linebacker room is so young. You had the perfect recipe.
Right.
You had two veterans, right? And you had a young guy who was taking his step, being Martell Hughes. And then Tristan Bacon developed, and it's like, okay, now we got the young guy there too. Well, now immediately things kind of have to shift because of the loss of a real veteran on that defense.
How many linebackers do you think play for this team on a consistent basis?
Just on defense, not on special teams?
Yes. Yeah. As linebackers.
Consistent. I would say 3.
Okay.
I would say 3.
Do you feel comfortable with that
4.
number? Do you feel comfortable with that number?
Yeah, I feel comfortable with that number, because if you go back to 2024, who were the linebackers that we were talking about, right? It was Zyrus Fiaseu, it was Keyshawn Elliott, and Jordan Crook. There wasn't really another linebacker. I mean, Martell Hughes, but again, he was few and far in between.
Was McCullough the year after that?
Caleb McCullough, I want to say, was 20.
He was 24, right?
You're right. Was he 24?
Was he?
Yeah, he was 24. You're right. So yeah, you had those 4 guys at the linebacker spot, and then what?
And you needed them too.
You did.
Because the game that McCullough stepped up was the Utah game when I think there was 2 linebackers injured, right?
I think one was injured and Keyshawn had gotten tossed.
Yeah, for targeting.
Yeah.
So his last season was 2024.
I would say they open with 3 consistently, that being Long, Hughes, and Bacon. And then I do think they get to a point, hopefully sooner rather than later, where they feel comfortable with Iosefa or Davis or Prairie Young Black Goat. I think that's probably where we're trending
I feel like
right now.
Somebody's going to have to step up rotationally.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big opportunity now for all those guys, right? And not just a big opportunity now, but this is an opportunity to really plant your flag on 2027, potentially 2028, right? A big part of the conversation now around Tristan Bacon is, okay, he looks awesome. He's going to play this year. But the big part of what Tristan Bacon has shown so far in camp is that he's probably ready to be a multi-year starter after this season, right? So now this opens the door for someone to solidify themselves potentially next to Tristan Bacon for years to come.
Yeah, I really hate about what happened to Zyrus. I do think that it will make the team worse in the short term. I think in the long term that this is a great opportunity for a lot of the guys in this room. And you were going to need somebody to step up at some point probably, just because there was no way that you got through this season with 0 injuries in every single room, right? So like the linebacker room, there was probably going to be 1 injury at one point.
At some point.
Right? And like you hate that it's a season-long injury.
Exactly.
And then you hate that it happens before the season, before you can even play a snap. Like all that sucks, and I'm not trying to downplay it at all.
Yeah.
But you were going to need some sort of depth, some sort of young guy to step up anyway. Mm-hmm. Now you need that a lot more, and as Banshizdi says, a huge opportunity that comes with a lot of expectations, and that's good news for some of these players if they can go out and they can seize it, which is a bigger question mark than saying, hey, we got a guy who's in his 6th year, who's played before, played on the championship team, has been around this program. This would have been his 3rd season here, right? Which is a long time.
It is.
As
in
many
today's
years
day
here,
and age, yeah.
Yeah, as he did at his other school. So like, this is somebody that was steady, was solid. But can you get somebody that kind of comes out of nowhere and maybe like raises the ceiling because they maybe haven't hit a level that you know?
Yeah,
yet?
I honestly, no. I don't think you get a ceiling raiser here. I don't think there is a player at the linebacker position young enough in terms of the conversation that we've had around, some of the freshmen or the sophomores on this team.
But could it be like talented. A guy like Martell, right? Like maybe not like the youngest guy, but just somebody who's like, okay, he was splitting starting reps, but now it's like there's a bigger lion's share of the responsibility on your shoulders because you're not rotating
you can. The thing with Martell is it was such a steady and slow development, right? Mm-hmm. From his freshman year being what he was on special teams and playing a couple snaps at linebacker to year 2, then taking a jump in snaps at linebacker and now getting to the point where he's a true starter, right? That was a slow and steady process to get him to where he is at today, and it's paid off. Now, you're right. You almost do need to kind of look around that linebacker room and say, okay, who is the closest that we can get to being 100% ready, that we're confident in throwing out there in, 11 days, you got a game at home against Morgan State. In 18 days, you're at College Station, right? So you realistically need to ramp this up. What I will say is I have been a big fan of A.J. Cooper and what he's done with his linebacker room since he got to ASU. I know it is a quick turnaround to find a 4th body that you feel confident in as a rotational player. But if there's any position coach that I think can do that and get the guys ready, it is A.J. Cooper. And again, you're 11 days away from your season opener. I wouldn't anticipate Owen Long and Martell Hughes playing a ton in that game.
No.
I think you will get a lot of Tristan Bacon, and then this is your opportunity to go
this
see
is where
these
you
guys.
Get to see somebody.
1,000%.
And that might be good to get reps for.
No, it'll be great.
Again, what happens 18 days from that? But you still have, like, we've clearly said that losing Zyrus sucks, and it hurts his team, and it hurts the room.
It does suck.
You haven't lost all your starting linebackers. No. And Owen Long is somebody that we've talked about being a contender for best player on the team.
Yeah.
And maybe one of the best defensive players in the Big 12. Maybe one of the best defensive players.
He is one of the best defensive players in the Big 12.
And maybe one of the best in the country.
Yeah.
If he can hit the levels that we think he can hit, obviously on a bigger Power 4 stage than what he was at Colorado State last year, like, this is somebody that we are still talking about as an absolute game changer. So to still have him, the head of the snake, is calming in a sense, along with A.J. Cooper. And then I think, like, look, there's a handful of guys, right? And you got to imagine that there's one that can kind of take at least a couple of snaps here or there, grow a little bit, and if anything, get kind of primed for then what's going to be an important 2027 season.
Yeah, no, you'd like to think so. And again, just 11 days till kickoff. So we are going to see some interesting things in practice over the next couple of days. Again, the news that we did get out of practice today was bad news, of course, relating to Zyrus Fiaseu's season-long injury, and we thought we were getting good news on Cutter Boley's birthday. We thought we were getting a quarterback announcement. We didn't. Why and when might we hear about QB1? We're going to talk about it on the other side of our first break. Football season is about to kick off, which can only mean one thing, and that's right. It is time for fantasy football season. And where else would you host your fantasy draft here in 2026 other than at Gila River Resorts and Casinos? A couple different packages for all of you fantasy football sickos, including, of course, the official PHNX Cardinals Die Hard Draft Kit. If you're trying to take your fantasy football league to the next level, well, might I recommend, of course, that official PHNX Cardinals Draft Kit that includes a draft board, player stickers, a fantasy champion ribbon, an official Die Hard commissioner crown. Of course, it comes with your draft day Sharpie and, of course, a PHNX sticker sheet. Not to mention, when you have your draft party over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, of course, there are food and beverage options and reserved space in the BetMGM Sportsbook. Guests can visit playatgila.com or the BetMGM Sportsbook at Wild Horse, Pass Cueva, and Santan Mountain for more details.
Write down the dates now. October 16th through the 18th, the Chase returns to Phoenix Raceway. You all already know that Phoenix is one of the best sports cities in America, but this fall, it's raising the bar to a whole new level. Watch NASCAR's championship contenders battle at the Freeway Insurance 500 and one of the most critical races on the road to the championship at this iconic track. Nothing matches race weekend like the engines roaring, the smell of rubber, and the crowd erupting as the field charges into turn one. It's an energy you have to experience in person to truly understand, and you could do that with the best access in motorsports. Go inside the garage, walk the track, meet the drivers, catch the pre-race concert, all with the Desert Diamond Casino in-field experience. Experience the intensity of the Freeway Insurance 500 weekend from October 16th to the 18th at Phoenix Raceway. Feel the pressure, strategy, and side-by-side racing as NASCAR's biggest stars compete to advance towards the championship. Secure your seats now at PhoenixRaceway.com. That's PhoenixRaceway.com.
Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. And Rubus
Totri,
join us in 2 days.
Wow.
Over a Wild Horse Pass for one hell of a program.
Word on the street is that my portion of the diss track has been done and recorded.
I can confirm.
And you've heard it.
I have heard it. I even texted you like, wow, mic drop.
Better or worse than the first one?
Better bars for sure.
Yeah.
Better.
You you want the auto-tune, don't
honestly,
you?
better. Yeah, better.
I'm not putting auto-tune on
better,
this one.
Better all around. I can't promise that mine doesn't have auto-tune.
That's fine. You can do whatever you want. It's your verse. You can do whatever you want.
We'll see what it ends up being like. So catch that, of course, 6 p.m. Wild Horse Pass, including a full season preview show. Of course, our record predictions, breakout player, offensive, defensive MVPs, and so much more. You guys can RSVP, of course. Go PHNX.com. And if you're a PHNX diehard, well, you're going to get a free drink ticket. You're getting yourself a nice little beverage on
You actually get a lot of
Thursday.
stuff if you're a
Thursday
PHNX diehard, because we got new stuff for
we
diehards
do
as well.
There's levels to this.
There is levels to this. Go to gophnx.com/join. And now we have two different levels of being a diehard. Of course, we have our diehard tier level 1. And that is for the fans who are, they still want more content and more community. It's just $36 for the year. That's as low as $3 a month. You get all of our premium written content here, which includes, of course, during transfer portal season, you have your transfer tracker. During this season, we'll have multiple written articles going up, the diehard dashboard, and of course, diehard lounge access, which of course is on our Discord. Best place to be a Sun Devil fan. Inside news, fun discussions during the game, and everything like that. Friday in Space 602 says, still never got a response from you guys about the Da Bomb hot sauce. I DM'd you back on Twitter. I did miss your DM like a month ago, and I'm very sorry about that. I DM'd you back. I will give you the address.
Why are you pointing at him like that?
And we will get Totri to eat Da Bomb hot sauce.
Yeah, I'll eat the bomb hot sauce. Can we at least get me some like tasty wings or something to put on it?
Ooh,
At this point, I'm leaving this up to you. Like,
Sure.
if you want me to eat the bomb hot sauce, you're responsible for.
I'll bring the sauce, you bring the wings.
No, if you want me to eat the sauce, you can expense the wings, Doug.
Julia, no, it does not include streaming of ASU games. We are separate from ASU, but it is extra content, extra access.
Well, I mean,
to
we play
our
games.
DieHard community. And then there's another tier. This is the DieHard Pro tier. This is for fans who want to take their DieHard membership beyond content and community with tangible benefits and savings and perks throughout the year. This is $80 a year, but you get a free t-shirt from us annually. That's a $35 value. You get 20% off everything else at the All-City store. Discounts on PHNX hosted events, which we're going to be having some coming up here in a little bit. An NFL draft guide, which is a $50 value. It's one of the coolest things that we do at All-City. And then we also have, and this is new for all of our DieHard stuff, $200+ in partner perks and discounts. So all of these companies that we advertise with, that we will have specific DieHard perks plus the DieHard report, which is our quarterly updates on the perks that you get. So you not only get all of the content and everything, but you also get literal tangible benefits to being a diehard plus everything else. So go to gophnx.com/join, or of course you can keep on watching the show for free. We love doing the show for you all. We give it to you guys for free, but if you want to support us, you can do that by becoming a member on YouTube or becoming a diehard. That directly helps us keep the lights on here.
Aryton, are you at all interested in trying the bomb with me?
I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Thank you.
I can't wait to
I like
watch
spice.
you guys do it.
Well, we'll do it.
I'll sit behind the computer. Aryton will come here, sit on the chair.
Well, when are we doing this? Depends when the
Yeah, I guess
the
it
Souse
depends on
gets
when the
here.
Souse gets
I hope
here.
the Souse gets here before the first game. That way you can be sloshed with your Four Loko, and
I
then
keep
we
on
can
forgetting
be,
about that.
eating.
I'll get the hot sauce. You have to give me my Four Loko.
Okay, you get the wings. I'll get you the Four Loko. It's probably the same price, honestly.
Probably.
Today's day and age. Also, I can't believe that I've just put this together, but if you guys are in the Supporters Club, you did get a brand new emoji over the last week.
That is true.
And this feels like the perfect time to utilize it in honor of Zyrus Fiaseu.
It's true, yes.
Just throw in the sad
The
Ruby
sad
face.
Rubus.
The sad Ruby face is very, very fitting. Also sad that we didn't get a quarterback announcement today from
what's up with
Kenny.
that?
We keep just kicking the can down the road.
Because Kenny said, "Oh, we'll have an
I
announcement
wish you
for
were
you
at
Sunday or
practice
Monday."
today, and you could have responded with his answer to. But Coach, you said last week that we could get it on Sunday and Monday.
But I'm not crazy.
and now it's Tuesday.
But I'm not crazy for thinking that.
No, you're not. You're not crazy for thinking that. I was completely in the camp that this announcement would have happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then it was supposed to happen yesterday, and then it got to today, and it never happened. Here's what we do know. Cutter Boley is taking all of the first-team reps. That's been the case for over a week now. So it doesn't appear that there is anything going in the other direction for Mikey Keene in terms of starting at the quarterback position. We are 11 days away from kickoff.
Yeah.
Kenny did say that he'd like to announce a starter about a week prior to the start of the season. We will hear from Kenny a couple more times before the start of the year. We hear from him tomorrow following practice. We will likely hear from him Saturday following practice. And then we will hear from him Monday at his weekly press conference.
Yeah.
Kenny did say today that he would like to have an announcement sometime within the week, potentially going into next week, of who is going to be QB1. But realistically, we're looking at Wednesday or Saturday now as your decision for QB1. He did say Cutter had what he thought was his best day today at practice, which I would second that. I thought Cutter was phenomenal at practice today.
On his birthday day.
On his birthday, he was throwing out gifts for everybody. All the wide receivers got touchdowns. Best ball of the day today for many of the quarterbacks was a Cutter Boley deep ball, the left boundary in the back of the end zone. Just put it right in the breadbasket for Reed Harris. Beautiful, beautiful ball and a great day from Cutter. And again, on his birthday, I thought we were going to get something today.
This is so weird. I mean, look, man.
I don't really understand it. If I'm
not
being
like
honest.
freaking out about it. I'm not like, why isn't he doing it? But I am like, why isn't he doing it?
Yeah.
Like, what are we missing here? Why are we not doing this? It's just a little weird.
It is weird.
Playing mind games with Morgan State.
I mean,
They don't even have the internet in Maryland. Like, what are we doing?
Maryland and on the internet in
No,
Maryland,
I'm kidding. Of course they have the internet in Maryland. It's just dial-up.
He was asked, and this is Kenny. Kenny was asked post-practice again today, saying what he's looking for at this point in the quarterback competition. He said just not making the same mistake twice. You know, these guys aren't going to be perfect, but they should be closer to perfect than, of course, when this whole thing started at the beginning of August. So I feel like if they were going to name a starter on Wednesday, he would have said today, we're going to name him tomorrow, or we're going to do it in the next couple of days. That is not what he said verbatim. So my mind tells me that we're now looking at realistically getting an answer for QB1 either Saturday or we're getting it Monday of game week. He said that he could make a determination, obviously, earlier this week. He said it will be announced within the next week. So we are 11 days from kickoff. We feel like we know who QB1 is going to be. I'm very confident that it is going to be Cutter Boley at this point in time. I wish I had a better answer as to what we're doing here.
I'm just messing around.
Maybe it's just like I want to be 100% certain.
But like I don't know. I feel like if it wasn't 100% certain, then you could correct me if I'm wrong, then they would just be splitting reps, right? Like I think the fact that it's like Cutter's taking all the first team reps, you think maybe he got mad that like you were like, I fully expect Cutter Boley to be named the starting quarterback, and like we put out like that video yesterday, and he was like, you know what, Totri, screw you. We're not gonna announce it right now, just to put a little.
But here's the caveat to that.
Yeah,
is like I didn't put a timetable. I just said I fully expect him to be named the starting quarterback. So whether that is in 2 minutes or 11 days from now.
It'd be funny if he was like the backup and then he gets named the starter like week 8 and you quote tweeted yourself being like, called it.
Like I didn't put a deadline on it. Like he's going to be QB1. It's just we gotta announce it. I really don't know. I really have no idea why that didn't get.
Maybe they're doing like maybe they're like planning like a really fun way to announce it.
How would you announce it?
Ooh,
if you were Kenny Dillingham,
if I was Kenny,
Aryton, be ready. I'm gonna ask you here in a second too. If you in chat, this is up for discussion. If you were Kenny Dillingham, and let's assume that we were doing it today, right? Because it's his birthday.
But I want to have it like prepared.
Yeah. So
right. I've been preparing.
You've been preparing for this.
Cool. All right.
How are you doing a special Cutter Boley QB1 announcement?
Flash mob, whole team dancing.
I don't know if there's anything that would get me less excited about the football season than seeing my entire college football team flash mob dance to announce that Cutter Boley
and they're also
going to
be singing too.
They're singing.
Instead of the song "Beat It," it's going to be "Cut It."
Okay.
Ooh, but there is a song like
you need to cut it. Like,
yeah, but you can't really sing that song, right?
You can.
Go ahead.
I don't know all the words. I just know you need to cut it.
Them prices way too high.
You need to cut it.
Oh, wow! What is this show?
Aryton, how would you announce the Cutter Boley decision?
I think he's got something really big planned. I think they're gonna do some nice social video, maybe like a TikTok dance
like
of sorts. Potentially a flash mob.
Flash mob,
included.
TikTok dance are different.
What happened to flash mobs? We don't do flash mobs anymore. When's the last time you saw a flash mob? Doesn't happen.
I'm thinking like a Harlem Shake.
And then the beat drop
is the QB.
That's true.
Who's
There's way too many problems in this world to be flash mobbing. Do you have time to be
in a flash mob?
I guess it depends on like what the flash mob is for. I think I could clear my schedule up. If it was to name the starting quarterback on his birthday, I feel like I could bust a couple moves.
Russell says, I would have a team meeting where each player votes in private at the QB.
It's like Survivor!
Has the most votes wins.
Yes!
That
Survivor?
Would be so dangerous, though.
Oh.
So dangerous.
Dude, that would be
How
awesome.
quick does that turn into, like, our political system of just, like, players then starting to, like...
You see campaigns, like Cutter Boley, Mikey Keene, like smear campaigns with each other?
Yeah. Like, how quickly does it get to that point?
Mikey Keene wants to game manage by throwing outs when it's 3rd and 5. Cutter Boley, he'll go big. Get the touchdowns and score. Don't get left hanging on 4th and short. Go with Cutter.
We'll
be back after this break.
Financial success, of course, begins with the right institution and maybe even a step further, the right account. So, we're already talking about Mountain America Credit Union. More so, though, their My Style checking account. We've been telling you for months, going on years now, about the different perks and benefits that come with that My Style checking account. But something that separates it from all of those other credit union accounts is that it's designed around exceptional member service. In fact, it's the ultimate spending account and how we get things done. It could be your midday snack account, your home repairs account, your NIL donation account, your surprise party account,
your send money to your favorite podcast host's account.
It could be that.
It could be
too.
whatever account you want.
Literally, in other words, it is the perfect fill in the blank account. Not to mention Mountain America Credit Union. Well, they are supporters of your Arizona State Sun Devils. So make sure you apply for your My Style checking account at any Mountain America branch or at macu.com/mystyle. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration/activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Totri, I believe we are 11 days away.
We are.
11 days. That's
11.
less than 2 weeks away from the first game at Mountain America Stadium in 2026. And of course, you'll look around the crowd. You'll be there and you'll see no Morgan State hats. No. You'll see Arizona State hats as far as the eyes can see. And all those hats, of course, they're branded Bills. Because whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitted beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with both performance and with style. And with the temperatures being high for these home games,
dude, it is hot outside.
You want a nice breathable hat that's also stylish as well, and you can get that with, of course, Branded Bills. Yes, they have partnerships with 40 universities, but of course, the number one university that they have, not just in innovation, but of course, is their partnership, is Arizona State University. They also, play my heartstrings a little bit. They partner with the PHNX Suns. They're a local company out of Mesa, Arizona, so support local. Head to brandedbills.com. Use code BBPHNX15 for 15% off your first order.
Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Sharon says, oh, well, today would have been perfect. Dilly, that's a missed opportunity.
Does this drop Kenny Dillingham down the Big 12 coaches' power rankings?
No.
Sure.
I don't think it does. Now,
fair. It's a fair take.
If he does it tomorrow, then yes.
Maybe something changed.
Maybe they just needed an extra day to get the flash mob organized.
It takes a lot of coordination. Like, not just the dancing part, but the getting everybody's schedule.
Yeah.
Like, classes have started.
Yeah.
And you gotta you kind of gotta make it seem casual at first. So it's like, oh, why is this random? Like why is Caleb McCullough dancing? And then it's and then everybody kind of starts to join in, and then all of a sudden it's Kenny Dillingham is doing the worm.
Dude, shut up.
Because he learned it from
Shut
me.
up.
and everybody's singing and dancing, and it's the whole field, right? And then everybody just kind of stops, and Cutter's looking around what's going on? And
he doesn't know.
No, how it's a flash mob. How is he supposed to? He's not a part of the flash mob because it's it's a surprise. It's an announcement for him, you idiot. And
Are you done? Jeez, man.
I unfortunately could probably go for
unbelievable
a lot longer.
Look, the last thing we'll talk about as it relates to Cutter before we get back into practice
is the thing with the flash mobs.
I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna do it. Wednesday, Saturday, or Monday. When do we get the announcement? Your official prediction again.
Monday to get the flash mob coordinated. I don't know. I feel since we didn't get it today, I feel like Saturday. I feel he'll do it Saturday and then take questions about it more so on Monday for his press conference.
Aryton, any guesses here?
I think they're building something too. I think it's going to be on the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't think that it's going to be Wednesday. I think Saturday is probably the likely option for the next opportunity to finally get an announcement on what's going to be Cutter Boley as QB1.
God, I want them to do a flash mob.
Be crazy if at this point they were just they've said it's going to be Cutter so much that we're just going to make it Mikey.
I mean, could you also imagine that they were planning to do a flash mob and then I said this and now I've ruined their plans? Could you imagine?
I'm going to do one more flash mob thing, and then you got to promise me we're going to move off of flash mob.
Ooh, you're going to do something with the flash mob? Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay, go ahead.
But you got to promise me we're not going to be talking about flash mobs after this.
I promise.
Okay. Okay?
Yeah.
Who at the office,
All right.
if you randomly found out this individual was responsible for being in and or coordinating 10 plus different flash mobs,
That's a lot of flash mobs.
who would your immediate guess be of like, I see it. I see that person being a flash mob connoisseur.
Gil.
Gil.
Gil loves to dance. I've seen
Of
Gil.
all people.
I've seen Gil dance.
Gil
he's also
McGregor.
he's also unk. So like he'd be like
Wow.
prime like flash mob hours. Like I think he was there.
He was there for
Like
that.
he was there.
When
he
the
was
flash mob was at its peak.
Yeah, and so I feel
Gil
like
McGregor was ready to
I'll
bust
tell you
a
this.
move.
Gil definitely recorded a Harlem Shake video.
Okay.
Would you push back against
I feel like
that?
I recorded a Harlem Shake video.
Did you?
In class?
I feel like you would have done more like the mannequin challenge.
Oh, yeah. I think that's
like
what it
you
was.
probably did the
Where it was,
mannequin
like,
challenge. But like
frozen.
the Harlem Shake, I'm calling Gil right now.
You're calling
I'm
Gil
gonna
right now.
call
You're gonna put
Gil.
him on blast right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna
This
ask
is,
him.
by the way, fully off the rails.
I'm gonna
This
ask-
is fully done.
I'm gonna
I
ask
said,
Gil.
let's do one more thing on Flash Mob, and now Erik is making phone calls.
You said one more thing. This is.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey man, you are live on PHNX Sun Devils. I have a question for you.
Okay, what's up?
Did you ever record a Harlem Shake video?
No, I did not ever. I don't think. Maybe.
Well, that was a quick backtrack.
How do you feel about Flash Mobs?
How do I feel about flash mobs?
Yeah.
They're not for me personally.
Okay.
But I appreciate the community that they foster for those who do participate.
Yeah. I just want to let you know, before we called you, I asked Erik who in the office would be most likely to have participated and or like organized multiple flash mobs. And he said you, because you're unk. That was his
That's
direct
crazy.
answer.
I also
to
said
that
you like to
question.
dance.
That's crazy.
Right?
The Harlem Shake thing, I think I was in like a big one. Like I was in a crowd of people. We did it in like a big gym.
I
But
told
a
you.
flash mob, no, I cannot say I've done that yet. Yet. Operative word.
Don't worry, I got your
We'll
back.
plan- we'll
I
plan
got your
one.
back, twin.
All right. Bye, Gil.
That was a good debut for me on the show. Appreciate that.
I love it. Gil McGregor.
Gil's our son's co-host.
I got nothing. Let's talk about practice.
Cool.
and
Let's do it.
Ghost
So,
Rouser,
what
huh?
else stood out? Quarterback aside, Zyrus
Yeah.
aside, what else was standing out to you at practice today?
I mean, Jaron Hamilton specifically, I thought had a really good day, especially in one-on-ones with Rodney Bimage in coverage a number of times. He looked the part there. I would say another big piece of practice to me was the running backs.
Okay. How so?
I continue to think that there are a lot of guys having really good days. Not necessarily the guys that you would think. I think the expectation would be Kyson Brown is going out there and having a monster day. I do not think that was the case today. I thought Grayson Rigdon looked solid today. He
Interesting.
continues to look interesting.
He's been good.
He's put together some really, really good stretches of practices. I thought Man had himself a pretty good practice today. Marquise Gillis during individual drills looked the part. So all these running backs continue to cycle in. That we're seeing a lot of these guys rotate in with the ones, with the twos. So it just continues to kind of further the narrative that this is not going to be a bell cow role at running back for the Sun Devils. And I am growing even more in the direction of like, I don't know who's going to take the first snap at running back. My guess
man.
would still be that it's Kyson Brown. But like I was talking with someone out there today, even if I could guarantee you that he's the one taking the first carry, I would not feel confident to tell you that he's getting the second, third, or fourth carry. That's where we're at.
It's interesting. I mean, I need to see it, and I need to see that it's not like a bad thing that we don't have a certified running back one. And I think if it ends up being a bad thing that we don't have a certified running back one, I am going to turn to Kyson as the elder statesman in that room, as somebody who we've talked about as the presumed starter and somebody who we felt like should start.
Yeah.
If the by committee thing isn't working, which it totally could, it'll be the first time in Sean Aguano's tenure here that he didn't have like a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, quite frankly, Kyson is the most qualified to be that guy.
Yeah.
And it would be a shame if not only he didn't get that, but that came with poor running back success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't think will be the case. with all the different guys they have in this room. Like Wes Beasy says, the running backs are deep as hell. Run blocking is picking up again. I do have a lot of confidence in this running back group, but more so now as a group and as a unit as opposed to just one individual putting the team in the ground game on their respective back.
And it totally, like, again, it totally could work out. I don't want to sit here being like, oh no, it's not going to work at all. Like it could, and if it does, then that's awesome. I'm just saying that in the world in which it doesn't, you look at the fact that they don't have the like certified running back one, and then they kind of break it down from there. But I'm kind of excited and intrigued to see how this plays out, because it is completely different than anything we've seen.
Funny to me when we talk about this, and it's not just us, when other people talk about it too, is like, what was the issue with Arizona State's passing game last year? Right?
Just went to one guy.
It just went to one guy, right? It was just Jordan Tyson. And we're going into this year talking about, oh my God, this wide receiver room is so deep. They've got so many different guys that have so many different skill sets that are just going to be weapons for Cutter Boley, whoever's playing quarterback. But immediately the narrative switches and changes when people talk about the running backs of like, oh my God, we don't have one guy. We have like 8, but we want one because we're so accustomed to having one guy. Like, it can work in the exact same way that it works at the wide receiver position when it comes to like distributing the football.
But the wide receiver stuff wasn't as much on the wide receivers as much as it was on the quarterback.
It was. We cannot honestly sit here and say that we look outside of the wide receiver room a year ago and outside of Jordan Tyson that there was legit confidence in more than one other player.
Well, I guess we'll find out this year, considering that there were like a lot of returners, right? But I think also part of it was like
returners now that are what, like wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5.
Sure. I think part of it was some tunnel vision from our quarterbacks. But the running back thing is different because it's like, okay, yeah, we had the top wide receiver in Jordan Tyson, but we're looking at how long has Iguano been here now? Like,
back to the Herm days.
Like 8-9 years?
It's been a minute.
It's been a long time. And he's always had it a certain way. And it's like, how many running back rooms do you know that go like 5 deep? Right? Like if we're talking two or maybe 3, that's one thing.
I wouldn't expect there to be, like, this first game is going to be different. This first game against Morgan State is going to be different because you're playing a bunch of bums from Maryland. That's what it's going to be.
Hey, man, they're going to hear this in a couple of weeks when it finally
Morgan
gets
State,
there.
You're a bunch of bums from Maryland. There you go. Put it in the locker room, whatever you want to do with it. Like,
do they have locker rooms?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
I wasn't even really aware that they had a football team until you get to this point. I do not fully expect there to be, outside of this game against Morgan State, a plethora of carries for all of the backs. I do not expect it to be that way. I would expect it to be a situation where you look maybe at the end of the year and there are 3 running backs with a good chunk of carries and touches through the passing game, goal line carries as well. Like, you don't just sit up here and say you have all this depth and then do it in practice at this point. Mind you, this is the first time in practice since Kenny's been here that we are seeing it this way. I've never gotten to this point where we're 11 days from kickoff and you're looking at the running backs and you're going at running backs who are realistically probably 4 or 5 on your depth chart that are getting reps with the ones a week before you play
I
a
think
game.
that the tough part is, like, last year you looked at, like a 3-headed monster, right? And you saw the 3 roles that they filled and whatnot. And that was like relatively exciting. It just ended up being 1. I think this year it's just like there's like 6. There's like 6 guys you can look at that can play, and that's a lot. Off track.
No.
I found Morgan State's locker room.
It's exactly what you'd expect Morgan State's locker room to look like.
But I will say, so my favorite part of this is that they have their numbers at the top of the lockers. And it's like for number 16 above, it says 16-0. And then for number 11, it says 11-0. And then for number 6, it says 6-0. This is a program whose best season in program history was 7-5.
Is that true?
Yeah, Ralph found that stat.
That's crazy.
So
yeah. Well, we got one more practice update. I do want to get to this question from Will saying not really, or I guess not a question, just a statement saying not really. There are multiple wide receivers on the field at a time, so you expect to have multiple guys stepping up. The running backs might have 2 on the field max, so you'd expect to have a solid first choice. Has nothing to do with how many of them are on the field at once. If there are different players that have different skill sets that prove to be different weapons, it doesn't really matter who's out there on the field first at the end of the day. It's if they can all actually contribute. If we got our dream scenario a year ago, there wouldn't have been a true RB1 when you think about it. We were on this podcast and everybody in the chat was saying Kanye Udoh deserves carries after the Mississippi State game. That didn't happen. Kyson Brown was hurt. Raleek Brown was then forced to get all of the carries. In a perfect world, you get a 3-headed monster like we were banging on the table for all of last offseason with Kyson Brown, Raleek Brown, and Kanye Udoh. The season looks very different. The offense looks very different. The overall numbers look very different. I think we can sit up here and agree that while that might not be the sexy thing to do when you don't have a Cam Scadaboo-esque season, if it is effective and it works and it keeps guys fresh and healthy and adds different layers to your offense, that's what you're going to do. That's what the decision is, I think, going into this year. Not that there isn't necessarily a guy who could get 200 carries and be the guy. Now, you'd expect 200 carries to put up a ridiculous amount of numbers. I don't necessarily think you have that durability in this running back room. But what you do have is you have a bunch of different skill sets. So you're right, Will. Odds are 2 max are going to be on the field at once. But just because you don't necessarily have a bell cow does not necessarily mean that you do not have a talented running back like from what you've seen in the past at ASU.
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
And I'll ask it on the other side of our final break.
This is the last week of preseason football.
We're almost there.
Thankfully, before the NFL season begins. So if you're like me and you are struggling at this point watching all of the backups in the NFL, well, might I interest you in some pure edibles? I'll tell you what, you take a couple pure edibles and the uplifting effects are going to have those preseason games feeling like meaningful action. Hell, you take the right one, you might be feeling like you're watching the Super Bowl. Ooh. And the best part about pure edibles, maybe not even the uplifting effects, but in reality, the taste of Pure is next level. A full-fledged candy company offering so many different options. They're bound to have something that your taste buds will enjoy. And, well, if you have a tough time sleeping, make sure you check out Pure Gummies Sleep Support Gummies as well. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 150 dispensaries across Arizona, now including Truly.
You know, I study the great, quote givers throughout the history of this world. Huh? Yeah, I was trying to think of a better word and I couldn't. And the one that really sticks in my mind is from the windows
to the walls.
Window depots.
Got it all.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because they literally have everything.
Who
cabinets, countertops.
Was that Socrates?
I think it was Plato.
Yeah.
But Window Depot, they don't play though, because they've got the best prices around, because factory direct prices cannot be beat. But the best part is, not only do you get the factory direct prices, you get 20% off all cabinets only from now until September 30th. So you got a little bit of time to plan, of course, the next step when it comes to your home renovation. Look, they have everything that you need. Of course, amazing locations all across Arizona, plus a great website as well. Visit thewindow.com to get started planning your next project today, or stop by one of the Window Depot's 8 Arizona locations. See why they're way more than just a window store. Stop in and let Window Depot find the right products for your home and budget. Before you renovate, investigate. Shop the Window Depot first.
Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Appreciate everybody stopping by live after the fact, and of course, everybody listening on audio as well. Hopefully, we'll see all of you guys again Thursday, August 27th, 6 p.m., PHNX Live, Upper Deck, Wild Horse Pass. Be there or be a loser.
Yeah, you'll be a loser if you're not there. Sorry, not sorry. Question for you.
Answer.
If you had to start a flash mob. No.
I would be done.
Here's the question.
I'd be done.
Kamari Anderson, question mark?
That's the question?
That's Kamari Anderson, question mark?
And I will respond with Kamari Anderson, exclamation point.
Whoa!
Yeah. He was out there for he's been out there at practice, but it has been a lot of off-team work, right? He's working in the bubble, doing his things. Today, he was participating a little bit, not necessarily in team period, but he was participating with the quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends against air. So that is a positive sign to see him out there, helmet on, running around. That is a really good sign. Again, you're still a little bit of a ways away, in my mind, from seeing, like, he's not going to be ready for week 1 in my mind.
Damn.
But I
Week
do
2, though?
think I'd like to say that's probably where their dream scenario is getting him back before the game at Texas A&M. I do think, though, that we are getting into a situation where once Kamari does come back, he will be tight end 1, and it will be relatively
Not close.
surefire. I don't think it'll be close.
Not really surprised with where we are at right now. It's who's going to be tight end 2 is the question. All right, let's talk about
James Giggy.
Let's talk
He was running
about
with the ones today.
Let's talk about.
How you feel about that?
Let's talk about a former Arizona State Sun Devil who was granted another year of eligibility, was in the transfer portal, and is now transferring
to Houston. Myles Ghost Rouser is a Houston Cougar.
Man, gonna miss him.
Can I say one thing?
No.
Okay.
You can follow the show at PHNX Sun Devils. You can follow me at ERIK.
It's what I'm gonna say.
You can follow him at Anthony Totri.
That's what I'm gonna say.
And of course, you can follow the Freckled Mamba at Freckled Mamba.
That's what I'm gonna say.
In the meantime, shh. My bad.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Go Devils.
Myles Ghost Rouser.
In peace.
Myles Ghost Rouser was an awesome player at Arizona State, and Sun Devil fans should absolutely root for the kid. I think he 100% was a Sun Devil through and through. I know that seeing it on social media, him going to Houston, there are a lot of folks that are upset about it. The two things that I will say on that is, one, he was not in a position to return to Arizona State and play. Like, this safety room is just fine. This is probably the one room that you could look at on the roster and say they do not need somebody that was at an NFL rookie minicamp to come back.
It's also a little different for, like, if we're talking like a defensive line, or like everybody has to know the playbook, right? But
yeah,
it's a lot harder to play as that unit as a safety and just insert yourself in there.
I couldn't
a week and a
guarantee
half
you.
before.
I couldn't guarantee you that if Ghost Rouser returned to Arizona State, that he would be a day 1 starter at the safety position.
And like, if he had been here for the entire camp, then I think you could probably talk yourself into, okay,
maybe
there's a likely chance.
Maybe
for that,
Boogie's
but
been here too, and guess what? There's conversations about Josiah McGrew potentially starting at safety.
It's true.
So, like, they're going to play the best 11, and at this point in time, they're good. They are totally good at the safety room. And I think the other thing is, with him going to Houston is, I hope he gets to play, but at the end of the day, this is an ever-changing landscape in college athletics. It's not a guarantee that Ghost Rouser gets to play this season, as we just saw the Big Ten implement a rule that former NFL players cannot participate in the Big 12. I know Ghost Rouser didn't actually make an NFL roster, but he did participate in NFL rookie minicamps, which I want to say by the rule mandated by the Big Ten would deem him ineligible. The Big 12 is looking at a similar rule. So it could get to the point where we're 3 days away from kickoff and he can't play. Yeah. So that's just kind of where that situation is. Again, the eligibility things are an ever-changing thing in college athletics. It's gross. It's disgusting. I'm tired of it. Kenny's tired of it. Eric's tired of it. Freckle Mom is tired of it.
No, it's fine.
Okay, Eric loves it.
I love it. I love being like, oh, this player can play. Oh, they can't play. Oh, they're a professional. Oh, nope, they're in college. Oh, now they're a professional again. Oh, now they're not allowed to play. Oh, now they can play. It's just so much fun. Just what came to me.
Man, she says Big 12 ACC are looking into rules against players returning. Hopefully they are.
I feel like we should go the opposite direction.
We should be in support of.
We should just be like like
Joe Burrow. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Sometimes we're on the same page. I think we should just
all the professional players.
We need to just wrap up there because it's not getting any better.
What?
It's not getting any better than that.
Go, okay.
Yeah,
let's do it together.
You can follow the show at PHNX Sun Devils on Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok. You can follow me at Anthony Totri. You can follow Chicken Little here at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You can follow the Freckle Mamba at the Freckle Mamba on social. And guys, we will see you on Wednesday. In the meantime,
Go Devils.
and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.